Inspirational quote for the week. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. Right. Thank you, Jody. All right. If you are a member and would like to make an announcement, please fill out an announcement form local to my lab. Return a complete form to your colleague. Thank you. A few housekeeping tips. All participants on Zoom will be muted upon entry to the MS breakfast meeting. So, and should you have a question or a comment, please remember to enter into the chat box. Please remember to join us weekly as we will have our hybrid MS breakfast meeting every Thursday at 9 a.m. As always, this meeting is being recorded and will be available online on our YouTube channel, West Singular Valley Realtors. Please remember to follow WSGBAR social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also watch all our pre-recorded video on YouTube. Join us. I'm sorry. All right. Join our text message group for updates. Text WSGBAR to the number 888-301-22. So we'll have our President Lin Chao to give an announcement.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Thank you. Now we're all awake. It is very sad for me to come here today to share with you one of our past presidents in 1984, Ernest Henry, has passed away. Ernest Henry has owned the Century 21 Ernest in Alhambra for over 50 years. He was a broker, owner of that their real estate. It is very sad for me to stand here for the past 20 years, almost 20 years I volunteered here. I have seen many past presidents that's worked in heaven. So please join me to give Henry a moment of silence. Thank you very much. And we hope thank you rest in peace in heaven. Thank you very much.
Now on with our program. Today's agenda consists of our affiliate spotlight. Our guest speaker, James Chen, State Farm Insurance, at Higuchi New York Life, Derek Helper, CST Insurance, and our moderator, Hansen from Chance Global Private Lending. Just a reminder that to be eligible for today's join, you must be a WSGBR member and be in person at the association. We'll be having an attendance join, Amazon gift card join, and a 50/50 raffle. We'll now have our affiliate introduction for today. All paid affiliate present today. Please line up at the front. Please no promotion. This is a morning greeting. We'll begin with affiliate first.
Snooze, you lose. Cosmo Sanchez, home lender with new AIM funding. Thank you. And I'm Santa.
Get used to the
This is John. Have a great day.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Phoebe Liu from East Sussex Bank, a local commercial and home loan officer. Thank you. Bye.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Brandon. I'm from Olympus Escrow. I'm new to this group, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. Amy Kwan from DoubleDoor.io, your platform to reach foreign buyers.
Good morning, everyone. Chris Hong with Guild Mortgage. Have an awesome day.
Good morning. It's Angie Wong from Loan Direct. Have a beautiful day.
Good morning, everyone. Brandon Saransky with First American NHD. Have a fantastic day.
Good morning, everybody. Oriana Chan with Prime Lending.
Hello and good morning. Angie Tang, First American Title.
Good morning, everybody. Richard Zaletta, ACG Funding.
Good morning, everybody. Bright and early today. This is Lucia Tam representing CareFund Chinese American Real Estate Professionals Association. Have a great weekend.
Good morning, Nancy Chan, lawyer Saddle. Have a wonderful day.
Happy Thursday, Lena Sankari from US Bank Home Mortgage. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Derek Talberg, CST Insurance. You have a great day.
Guess what? Super mortgage. Got it low with ACG funding. Thank you, Richard.
Why she stole my thunder. Hi, good morning, David Tran with Home Car Home Mortgage, the man holding your small fortune every Thursday morning.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joe Haggerty with Orange Coast Title.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jacqueline Shu from Champion Escrow.
Thank you. Next, we'll call on affiliate who join us virtually. So with John West, Snap NHD. Good morning, John.
Good morning, everyone. John Wax with Snap NHD Natural Hazard Disclosure Reports. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the sunshine and rest in peace, our friend Ernie.
Next, with Jody Chow, AAA Capital Investment.
She needs to unmute herself. Judy, please unmute yourself.
Good morning, Judy.
I don't know, she's not unmuting.
Here you go. Good morning. I'm in the conference in Anaheim. So have a great week.
Sorry.
All right, thank you, Judy. And we have Unita.
She's not here.
Home Warranty of America.
She's not here, Samson.
All right. Please remember to support our affiliate with your transactions. All right. We are happy to include open pitching to our hybrid MLS breakfast meeting. Reminder, if you would like to pitch your listing, you must go to www.wsgbar.com. Click on the open pitch, fill out the current request form, and submit no later than Tuesday midnight of the week you want to pitch. Today, we have two listing featured. First, we have Sean Zhang of Remax My Home.
Good morning, everyone. Sean with Remax My Home in Temple City. So last week when I pitched my 2 8-unit listing, not a lot of you guys know where Lancaster is or California City. So today this 2-unit listing property is in Monterey Park. So I'm sure all of you guys know where Monterey Park is. So the front unit is the address is 1030 and it's a brand new ADU built. The primary home is in the back, which is almost 800 square footage. The whole 2-unit is almost 2,000. Front has 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and the back has 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's only asking for 1.2. The whole lot is almost 6,000. So check it out. It's open caravan today from 10 to 1, and we will be hosting open houses this weekend as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Next, we have Jeff Curtis from KWDTLA.
Give me 1 second.
Jeff. Hi, this is Jeff. 244 West Markland, nice traditional, sits up on a little knoll with nice views of the San Gabriel Mountains, 3 beds, 2 baths, swimming pool in the back. Needs a little work, but nice property, bread and butter, residential, open today, 11 to 2 on Caravan, and then open houses Saturday, Sunday, 1 to 4.
All right, thank you, Jeff. And please help. All right, please help me to welcome our moderator, Ken Sen, who will be introducing our guest speakers. Welcome, Ken.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ken Shen with Trans Global Private Lending. We do private loans. We don't check any income, 60% loan to value. And it's my honor today to be a moderator for today's panel. And today we have 3 guest speakers. First, we have James Chen from State Farm Insurance.
Thank you, Ken. Good morning, everybody. My name is James Chen, your good neighbor State Farm agent, City of Walnut. I'm here to take care of your home, auto, life insurance, and business insurance needs.
Thank you, James. And second, we have Eduardo Iguchi. You can call him Ed, from New York Life Insurance.
Good morning, everybody. I am Eduardo Higuchi, but a lot of people just call me by Ed. Back 30 years ago, it was Mr. Ed at this association. So don't feel that I'll be insulted by you calling me Mr. Ed, okay? I am with New York Life and I've been in the financial planning space since 2004. And look forward to working with you guys. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ed. And next, we have Derek Tolbert from CST Insurance.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Derek Talbert, CST Insurance. I do property and casualty insurance for both commercial and personal lines. I've been doing insurance for about 2 years, but the brokerage that I work for has been in business for about 30. We have access to multiple carriers. We're here for you.
Thank you, Derek. And let's give them a round of applause first. Okay, so today's topic is actually very important for all of us and people online. So without further ado, let me start with the first question for James. What does the standard homeowner insurance policy cover?
Okay, your standard homeowners insurance, the primary component is going to be coverage A. Coverage A is the cost to rebuild a home. So that's going to depend on the square footage, the composition of the home. The larger the home, the more expensive it is to insure. But also if the newer the plumbing, the newer the electrical, that could lower the premium. The composition, different roofs, tile roofs, going to be more expensive than composition roof. So our insurance companies will take a look at what the cost of the home it is to insure. If there was a total rebuild, that's your coverage A. The second component is going to be your personal property. Personal property are things that are not affixed to the home. The third component is going to be liability. Liability covers for someone trips and falls at the home, things of that nature. Someone sues you. That's what the liability covers. And the last main component is loss of use. If you're covered under a claim and you need some living expenses while the home is being repaired, that's what loss of use covers.
Thanks, James. And we all know there's a lot of different types of life insurance. So my question to Ed is, what is the right type of insurance for me?
The right type of insurance for each person is very different. So one of the things is we live in a time where there are many different types of insurance products. So it's most important for you to understand what you are planning to insure. And the nice thing about insurance is it covers you from the moment you sign the contract till whenever you end up 6 feet under the ground. So during that time, it can be anywhere from 10 years. It could be anywhere from 5 years to 30 years. So it's best to, what I always advocate is sit down with your financial professional or your advisor and kind of do a financial plan and plot out all those things that you're going to need. And one of the nice things about the life insurance you're going to find out is that it's cheap while you're young, but it gets more expensive as you grow old. And also your needs are going to change. So have the end game in mind when you decide to look into life insurance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ed. And we all know that commercial insurance is very important for us, but we want to know with Derek, why is commercial insurance so expensive?
Commercial insurance can be really expensive for a lot of different reasons. One of the biggest ones right now is just the cost to build a building. If your building burns down, even if it's partial, the materials cost a lot more. You have a lot of different shortages, you have supply chain issues, essentially it's just going to cost more to cover it. Another big reason is you have to look at what type of business you have in your building. If you're just a regular office, it's going to be cheaper than insuring a fireworks company. If you have a fireworks company, the chances of something catastrophic happening are much higher. So you have to remember what exactly you're asking to be covered. And the biggest one with workers' comp, people are kind of tough on that. The new law was five or more employees are required to have it in California. That's based on your payroll. So depending on how much you pay your employees will determine how much your workers' comp is.
Thanks, Derek. And I know many of you, many of us live in a single family, right? And we have trees and things like that. And my question to James is, what happened if one day my tree fell on my house? Does my insurance cover it?
Yes, tree falling on your house will be covered by your homeowner's insurance. I've had a personal experience where my neighbor's tree fell on my wife's car and on our home. In that situation, also, the couple next door was really nice, an older couple. They said they have insurance, go ahead, file it under their insurance. But me and my wife, we're both insurance professionals. We know that their insurance doesn't cover our home. It'll still be covered under our home insurance. So we told them no need for them to use their insurance because we know if they were to file a claim, even if it pays out zero, it'll go against them. It'll be a hit on their record. So we just filed it through our own insurance. It takes care of it. No problems. The auto is covered under the auto insurance separately, but a tree falling on your home is covered by the home insurance.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to know that we always have a peace of mind. So for Ed, now we know the bright cover insurance for us. So how does one determine how much insurance they need?
Yeah, that's a great question. And again, and I said before, each person's insurance needs are different. But then I look at, the association here being realtors and people are into buying and selling homes and so forth. So one of the things that I would emphasize for this segment of the group is that if you think about your estate planning aspects of things, your insurance needs will be very different from somebody who's, are not investing in real estate because real estate seems to spike up pretty big, in terms of estate planning needs. So that's what I would do. Sit down with your financial advisor and getting a second and third opinion would not be a bad thing to do. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So for Derek, we know that commercial insurance can be expensive. So how do I bring down the cost of my commercial insurance?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys some things that are gonna help you tremendously. Take notes. These are things that are not in the books. So there's different ways that you can bring down the cost of your insurance. People don't realize that number one, the people that are coming up with the cost of your insurance, essentially, just speaking layman terms, they're real normal people. So you're asking someone, hey, I need this building covered. They're gonna go on Google. They're gonna look at the picture on Google to determine what your building looks like. Go look at your building on Google. If your picture's from 2017 and you've gotten a new roof since then, you probably want to send them an updated picture because it's going to save you a bunch of money. Or, there's a lot of different ways you can kind of change the pictures. But like you send pictures in of your business, you send pictures in that show that this is actually a really, really good client to cover. Another thing that you can do is bumping your deductible up. A lot of people kind of already know that, but you don't realize that you can save 10% off your entire premium just by raising your deductible to certain amounts. Another good way, make sure your website looks good and make sure that your website is actually telling what your business does. Don't go over and above and beyond and say things that you don't normally do. I've had experiences before where I'm talking directly to an underwriter and they say, oh, this cleaning company, they say they do high-rise buildings. They don't. They would like to, but they don't. But that was the difference, $800 a year on their premium. So you take that off their website, and now they save another $800. So make sure you spend time talking to your broker, your agent, whoever you're working with, and make sure you can paint a very, very clear, favorable picture of what you're wanting to get insured. And then you can save a bunch of money.
Thanks, Derek. So it's really important for us to disclose all the information we have and what types of jobs we do in order to get a good saving on the costs. And we know for California, those two things may not necessarily happen, but for James, if earthquake and flood cover under my homeowner insurance.
Earthquake and flood are generally excluded from your homeowner's insurance. Those require a companion policy. In California, there is over 100 live active faults. Any one of them could be very, very devastating. So earthquake insurance is worth looking into, especially in California. Flood insurance as well, depending on your geographic location, you could run an NHD report to see if there's a need for flood insurance. But earthquake and flood both are not covered. What is considered earthquake? Earthquake considered any like movement of the earth. And after an earthquake occurs, there may be some aftershocks. So usually you can't buy an earthquake policy during an earthquake or right after an earthquake. There's like a 30-day wait period. Flood, what's considered flood is water levels rising and seeping into the home. So some homes that we, in the last few weeks, months of rain, encounter flood where they otherwise would not have experienced flood in the past. So please consider both that we never know what the weather may be like, and they're not part of your homeowner's insurance.
And so, things happen. So actually, it's very important to talk to James when they have home insurance to see if we really need an upgraded flood insurance. And for Ed, what is an important insurance trend?
One of the biggest insurance trends in the last, say, 10 years is the cost of healthcare. And you might ask yourself, ask me, what does that have to do with life insurance? And the life insurance, is part of it because with healthcare costs and long-term care goes hand in hand. And the current cost of long-term care in the facility is over $150,000 a year. And what I usually get from people is say, hey, no, I'm gonna pay it with my retirement fund. Well, just imagine you waking up tomorrow and needing help, long-term care, and picking out $150,000 from your retirement account. It has a huge impact. And so what I would do is there are a lot of products, like I said earlier, that help transfer that risk. So sit down with your financial advisor or your insurance guy and just go over all the options that you have. Because again, that even the long-term care insurance, it's cheaper while you're young. And then once you get to a certain age, it becomes very expensive and maybe you might not even qualify. Thank you.
Okay, so now we know that long-term care is very important, even though we are young. So just maybe look into it right now. And as for Derek, so should I buy my insurance?
That is a case-by-case kind of situation there. A lot of the times, more often than not, it is advantageous to bundle your insurance. So for example, you have home insurance, it's best to just go ahead and drop your auto onto it. Bring health in, you usually end up getting a sizable discount. But that's not always the case. As a broker, I get to see the rates and the premiums across multiple carriers. So there are different times when different carriers are looking for specific business. So there might be a time where Liberty Mutual really, really wants some apartments. So they're gonna write apartments much, much cheaper than others. So once you kind of know the market, once you have a broker who understands the market, they can say, hey, your car insurance right now is with State Farm. Right now they're really pushing in your area for homeowners insurance. Let's go ahead and move you over from Farmers over to State Farm and save us money. Those are the times to look for it.
Thanks. So it's really important, especially when we want to bundle up insurance, to talk to the insurance professionals to make sure what are the things we need. And last question for James, does home insurance cover wear and tear?
Well, homeowners insurance covers what's sudden and accidental. So if it's over time, it's a slow wear and tear, that's not something that's covered under your homeowners insurance. So it's very important to check with your agent before you file a claim, because sudden water burst is covered, but slow leaking of the water plumbing is not covered. And when a claim is open, whether it pays out $0 or it pays out $100,000, it will still have the same impact on your claim record and therefore your rate. So it's very important to find out what is covered, what isn't covered. But keep in mind, sudden accidental are generally what insurance covers, and slow wear and tear are not items that are covered. Those things require maybe some maintenance around the house, some light upkeeping can save you tens of thousands of dollars. Clearing the drains, trimming trees that could be a fire hazard near the home. Those are some small examples of how we can prevent claims from arising. Some that may be covered and some that may not be covered.
Got it. Thanks for the information. And as a realtor for Ed, what does insurance fit in the life of realtors like us?
Yes, my experience, realtors and people in this industry are very busy people. They're running around, jumping in their car, meeting people. And what does that mean to you? That means that the risk factor or the liability factor of something occurring is pretty high. Versus somebody who's sitting in their home, just working behind the computer and not going anywhere. So one of the things I would say is, again, goes back to the financial planning aspect of things. Figure out, what your liabilities or what your risks are in your life, and who and what you want to protect. And, instead of just waiting for that big life to happen, I would suggest us to have a conversation and get a better idea of where you're at in terms of protecting the people you love. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ed. So it's important as a realtor, since we drive around and then there's a lot of risk involved, to definitely consider life insurance. And same question for Derek. What type of insurance is there for realtors?
Well, the one that I believe just about every realtor should have, first of all, would be a BOP. If you own your own office, so you're required to have your own liability insurance for whatever office you're working out of, or if you own a building, you're required to have liability insurance. So getting that is of the utmost importance. It's going to keep you from getting sued. It's going to keep you protected inside of the building. But another one that a lot of realtors kind of forget about is errors and omissions. That's your professional liability. This is I'm human, I screwed up, but I don't want to get sued. 1 in 8 realtors has to file an E&O claim every year. 1 in 8, and that's just in California. So we're human. We make mistakes. We forget things. We have typos. If someone decides to not be nice and gracious and say, "Oh, it's okay, we can fix it," and they decide, "No, I want to take all your money," you're covered. So it's a really, really good thing to have, and you don't want to get it after you've already gotten sued once. Thanks.
Thank you, Derek. That's very informational. I think all of us should get an E&O insurance just in case. And with that, I just wanted to everyone give a round of applause for James and Derek. And now we're opening for questions.
There it is. Thank you. Very interesting for all of you. And all 3 of you, I have a question for. For James. Are all natural disasters excluded? And if not, give us an example of the natural disaster that would be included in our coverage.
Okay, yeah, not all natural disasters are excluded. What's called an HO5 homeowners policy, they will cover everything except for what they say are excluded. So almost most scenarios you could conjure up, they would be covered, except for example, earthquake and flood would not be covered. So we have like heavy rains, heavy winds in California, and if it were to tear up a roof, it would be covered. Whereas if it was your normal rain, that would be wear and tear, and water were to seep through, that wouldn't be covered. But if we have major hail, major rain, causing a sudden and accidental compromise in the home, that would be covered.
Thank you. Okay, Eduardo. I'm not sure I know the difference between they talk about term life and, can you give us a real short little differential?
Mike.
Absolutely. So term life, a temporary insurance, it has a shelf life, 1 to 5 years, 1 to 10 years, 1 to 15, 20. The 30 years, you won't find that very often anymore. But it's good for things like, for instance, in our industry here, mortgages, right? If you have a young family, you buy a house, and you only have one person who is the breadwinner, if something should happen to that person, right? And it's possibly in a terrible spot to pay the mortgage and continue the life. So a term life is an excellent vehicle to ensure that the mortgage is paid off of, and in the lifestyle that the family has, it has continuity and so forth. Then there's a thing called whole life, which is whole life, universal life, and variable universal life. These are all permanent insurance, and they have, in terms of the insurance thing, it's like a car. They all have a chassis. They all look alike. They all have its own bells and whistles. So again, from the onset to just recommend something, whole life, universal life, or variable universal life, that would be inappropriate. So what I always do suggest, again, like I've been saying, is sit down with your financial advisor or your insurance person and have a financial plan put in place, and then you'll get a better idea of what's most important and what's valuable to you.
Thank you. Okay, Derek. Commercial insurance, I know that it has to be occupied. What is the length of time in between tenants maybe occupying your building that you can be covered by your insurance? And is there something that will cover you during the time that it may not be occupied for a length of time, say a year?
And you're saying, like, let's say you have a tenant, and
Yeah, a tenant occupied commercial.
Typically it's 60 days, but of course there's a lot of, you can actually have an endorsement added on for an extended period. So I believe you can get up to 120 days. But typically it's a case by case situation, but 60 days is usually the standard.
Right, because I know a lot of this right now, this time that we have a lot of buildings that are vacant. People don't realize that their insurance may not be covering. So that's why I was wondering what could be done.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you.
We have a couple of questions. If an investor has over 7,000 homes out of state, Florida, New and Arizona.
I could answer that. Okay, there's no requirement to get one, but I highly advise to get one. You're not required by any law to protect yourself. But the prudent thing to do would be to get an umbrella. It used to be in the past, when I started at State Farm about 7 years ago, the umbrella limits went up to like $4 million. Now we have our personal umbrellas going up to $18 million. So the numbers are completely different than they were before. In California, there's more lawyers in California than all the other states combined. But a commercial umbrella would suit the need of the customer because it goes everywhere they go. It's not just restricted to California. The umbrella covers them with all their other properties wherever they're at. It's what's called a commercial liability umbrella at that state. When it's over 5 investment properties, they'll qualify for a commercial liability umbrella. And I highly recommend it because there's the investors done a lot to amass the wealth that they've had. Now they want to make sure they protect it because one slip up can cause everything to collapse. So it's worth considering.
Next question, can a 70-year-old person purchase long-term care insurance? Can a 70-year-old person purchase long-term care, not long-term, sorry, long-term care insurance?
Yes, that's a good question. And again,
Speak into the mic.
Depending on the insurance company, yes and no, because every insurance company have different underwriting guidelines that they follow. So, but what I would tell you is at the age of 70, it's very expensive. And just from my own experience, from my age, and clients that I've met with, once you get to a certain age, there's things can happen to people. Like the little engine light goes on, and it makes it medical issues, health issues, and a lot of different things have to be taken into account. So if you're 70, I would say take a look at it now, not wait for it any longer, and then see what's available and go with that.
Last question on chat is if your condo building has a rat infestation, problem. Does your homeowner's policy covers loss of use?
I could answer that as well. So your condo unit, earlier I mentioned what is covered under your homeowner's insurance, the 4 primary components, loss of use being one of those components. But rodents and infestation are not covered under your general homeowner's insurance, including your condo unit insurance. Those type of items would, if you were to file a claim and the claim were to be denied, the zero payout will still go against your claim record. But the rodent infestations are an excluded coverage for your homeowners and your condo unit policy, and therefore the loss of use would not apply in that situation as well.
Why did you get a commercial umbrella policy?
No, there's the only requirement is you have to have an existing policy already. So you can't just get an umbrella without having insurance already. But anybody can get it. They have them for personal and commercial lines.
So that's,
This is, I don't know how true is this, because it's years ago, when once upon a time, I was still working in the bank. And as a mortgage consultant, I run into a situation that my client cannot get insurance on their property, homeowner insurance. The reason is there is a flood claim on the property within the first 3 years. The last 3 years, let's say today I'm buying a new house. And that property was filed, a flood claim was filed by the previous owner at least 3 times already within 3 years. I don't know if you remember, this is way back about 2 years ago. And rain, water coming into the house. They can't get insurance anymore, so that purchase will value out. Does it still the same?
I can't speak on behalf of all insurance carriers, but with State Farm, the new homeowner would get a clean slate. If there were claims in the past, and keep in mind, these were in the past, the home has passed a homeowner inspection before the purchase. So all parties are satisfied, right? The lender is satisfied because the home inspection, there was a claim before, insurance would take care of the damages before, bring it back to new. Insurance does what's called indemnify. It brings you back to the state of before the accident occurred. So if the home is good for closing, the home is good for inspection, the banks approve of it. The new homeowner, because of no doing of their own, they never filed the claim. They get a clean slate. So it would not have any issue at State Farm for underwriting purposes. It would be approved and it would have coverage available because the losses in the past, whether it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's irrelevant in that case. Insurance has brought it back to the state it was before that flood had occurred. So
The situation was none of the insurance companies will accept the new policy or issue a policy on that policy.
yeah, like I said, I can't speak on behalf of the other carriers at our insurance company, State Farm. The new owner would get a clean slate. It would have zero impact on their homeowner. It would have zero impact on their claim record. And therefore the home would be okay to underwrite and be covered.
So with other carriers, in this situation of when you're shopping, they probably aren't gonna want to write that because obviously they've had to pay out 3 times over the last 3 years. So it's gonna be extremely expensive where they're just gonna keep denying you. After those 3 times, you have to go to the surplus lines. If the surplus lines deny you, which most of the time they don't, it's just gonna be astronomical prices. If you still can't afford the insurance at that point, then you can go to the state. There is state funded insurance. There is always going to be insurance available. There's no such thing as this cannot be insured at all. The state can't cover it. It's going to be expensive. It's going to suck, but you're going to have coverage. So it is possible. You just kind of got to do a lot of digging in some dirty places.
And Janet and Derek, and it all depends on the carrier. Like I said, it depends on the carrier. whether they will underwrite it or not. At State Farm, I know for a fact that your prior claim does not affect the current owner because the claims will follow the owner. If they had a file, if the current buyer had a claim on their prior home, then it may not be eligible. But if the claims were from previous owners, it would have no bearing on the current buyer.
James, I have a quick question. If a property is damaged by mudslide, which insurance is covered?
For mudslide, generally that's gonna be a flood type of coverage. If it's mud coming down on the floor and seeping into the home, that's gonna be like a flood level type of a claim. So whether you have claim flood or not, it'll depend on if it'll be covered. But your general home, if there's mud seeping into the home, pick up any water level or soil level from the ground up getting into the home, that's classified as flood. So flood insurance will cover that, but your general home coverage may not cover that. It almost will not cover that.
And a quick note, the verbiage has been changed. There's no such thing as mudslides. Mudslides are just a very tasty milkshake. Yeah, mudslide is considered a flood, as James was saying, but mudslide now, just so you know, is just a milkshake, no longer what used to be a landslide.
And with this, we have concluded our today's panel. Please give our guest speaker and our applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ken, and thank you, James, Ed, and Derek, for this very informative presentation. And we just learned a lot more about the insurance. Next, we will have Amber to do an announcement.
What I want to do is I want to say, remember we said we were going to have a foundation silent auction? This is the beautiful house that is being auctioned today. It's right over here on the table. And every week we are going to have one item that is a silent auction. The total proceeds goes to our foundation. So please, before you leave, come see what it is. And we'll give it a few minutes in the future. At the end of the meeting, we'll announce who the winner is. Okay, this time, give you a little chance to make a bid. So we're not going to announce it at this point, but stick around, it'll be done shortly. It's really cute. Thank you, and it was donated by Amber. Thank you.
Thank you, Laurie. All right, it's time for our attendance drawing. All WSGBR members are included in this attendance drawing. Not all can be displayed, but all are included. Today, our part is at $175. A lot of money. If we don't get a winner, $25 gets you add to the pot each week until someone wins. If we can get a winner, pot will begin again at 25. It's for our last breakfast meeting of the year. We still don't have a winner. We will draw names until we get a winner. Winner must be in person at the association. When your name is called, you must be announced that you're here. If we call your name 3 times and you do not respond, we will move on. No exception. All right, we'll have our guest speaker to help draw. I'm sorry.
No.
So we'll have Berlin to
Give me
draw
1
for
second.
us.
Good luck, everyone.
I'm here. So we have Kim Wade. Him. All right. So guess we'll have 200 next week. All right. So next we'll select 3 winners. I'm sorry. So next is Amazon gift card drawing. We'll select 3 winners from those attending in person. Each will receive a $25 Amazon gift card. Good luck. And also we'll have our guest speaker to how to select the winner. Okay. Yes. First one. Good. First one, Janet Low. From Agents. You want.
Morning, I run. Seven o'clock to here. Get it on the line. Well, and you?
How many did you put in?
All right, second winner, with Zeno Valencino. Last one, we have Jacqueline Chu.
Who? Samson, who was the last one?
Three of us together.
Thank you.
Oh, right. Wow.
No, everybody. Oh, James.
All right, please make sure to participate in our education classes. A list of upcoming classes is displayed on your screen. So we have 45-hour ERE license renewal CE class on April 28th. And we also have commercial seminar, new law improved energy tax benefit for business owner and landlord on May 9th. And we have arbitration of real estate dispute on May 9th also. And last one, we have CRMLS virtual training matrix advanced search on May 10th. Right, last join, we have it's time for our 50-50 raffle.
43.
43. All right, let's see who's the lucky guy. 519-9079. All right.
Reduced or original? Would that matter? And
Yes, give me originals.
1, 2, 3, smile.
What is your name?
All right, at this time, if you submit an announcement form, please come up and make your announcement. You will have 30 seconds. Thank you.
Hi, save the date, area, Tri-County, you will have the installation. Yes, everyone is welcome to join. It's May 31st, at Luminarias. Super beautiful deck, nice sunset. You'll be able to dress formal and be able to join and network and have a great time and come join installation with us. It will start from 6 to 10 p.m. Please save the day, Luminarias in Monterey Park on May 31st. Thank you. Ticket is from members 158, non-members 188. It's for a non-profit organization. So all of your support is really appreciated. And we're here to support also. Thank you.
All right, thank you. If you didn't register for a caravan but would like to picture a listing, please come up to the front with your flyer. Your listing must be active in the MLS. Do we have any listing teaching?
Nope.
All right. All right, please join us next week, May 4, 2023. Our membership special events committee will be hosting a Cinco de Mayo celebration. We'll have food, music, games, and prize. Thank you everyone for joining our meeting today. This meeting is now adjourned.